130, ooh, 131, didn't realise we were going that fast. Hey guys, and welcome back to Train Sim World Great Western Express. So, this episode will be going through the class 43, the HST, and we'll be driving it from Reading to Paddington. So if we take the 10:50 service, Swansea to Paddington, basically train came from Swansea and we take it over at Reading, because we can't have the entire routes just yet. But yeah, load up the simulator, get ourselves ready to go, and we'll be taking the class 43. So top speed of this is 125 miles per hour, which means we should be able to do this entire route in about 45 minutes. So let's get the train set up. First thing first, we need to set the headlights to day headlamp and markers. The train is already turned on. Basically what you do is you'd unlock this, stick it in neutral, and then turn on the engine, which is the white button down here. The train has already started up, so we can set it into forward. By law, I'm technically meant to have the DSD and AWS turned on. There we go. Otherwise, let's release the brake, set up the throttle, and there we go, train's now ready to go. So yeah, arriving at Paddington at 11:20. We're departing at 10:50. So it's only about half an hour route, this one. Sometimes we stop at Slough on the way, but this service doesn't look like we will, so it's just a direct route. 40 miles per hour the initial bit, but once we're on the main track outside of Reading, no speed restrictions, straight up to 125, and then we should be there in no time. So yes, the class 43, or the HST, built in the 1950s, 1960s to create high-speed transport in the UK, and still very much in service to this day. So yeah, acceleration of the train can be fairly slow, but once it's up to speed, it's not slowing down anytime soon, and I can tell it's not slowing down anytime soon, because even with the brakes at full notch, it doesn't slow down very well, so hoping there's no red signals or anything on the journey. Otherwise, yeah, we may mess this up, so I might turn off DSD and AWS. Legally you're meant to keep those on, but bear in mind I'll be looking around outside and all that kind of stuff at full speed. It's not always going to work, and sometimes I'll miss it because the sound's not audible from outside. So we'll just have to live without that just for once. But in the future, when I'm doing like proper videos focusing from the train driver's cab point of view, then I will do the proper systems active and all that. Otherwise, yeah, look around the cab of the Class 43. It's not a bad train. Detailing this one's also quite good. I still personally prefer the 166, but no, I do like this train as well. It's decent detail across the board. One thing I do like as well, the TPWS, the train proximity warning system. Being a flight sim user myself, the GPWS, ground proximity warning. Yeah, the TPWS sounds like a fun little play on that, but no, TPWS basically warns you if there's a train nearby to stop. Right, so yeah, we're now getting up to speed, 60 miles per hour. Like I said, not very fast acceleration, but once you're up to speed, this thing does not slow down. Otherwise, should be green signals for the majority of this journey. And yeah, once you're up to full speed, then you'll start seeing the game's high-speed effects come into action. So yeah, that's why I chose to do this route without the intermediate stop in Slough. I chose to do the entire journey. There we are in front. And if I go to the back of the train, I know something with Train Simulator, you get a driver in every single cab. Not anymore. Every cab, only the driver cab has a driver in it. The rear end does not, and taillights have tunnels, so yeah, we should be alright. Same inter-carriage system here, although not as oh yeah, there's a fair bit of moods in that. Yeah, like this was like my little details in this game. That really just bring it to life. So you got whoops, I can have a train there. See the shadow glitching over there actually. And, like all these minor little details, minor movements shows like this is what. Whoa. Okay, this camera doesn't like being low down, but yeah, this is what Dovetail Games meant by like the realistic physics in this game. So fair enough, not so much derailing and all that, but all the minor movements of the cab, all the minor movements of the carriages, like that kind of physics, which does bring Simulator just a bit more to life, bring more detail into the sim. Yeah, now at 87, 88 miles per hour. There goes our train. It's a full. Actually, I'm not sure how many cars. I think it's an 8 car, but I could be wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 car. I do apologise. It's a 9 car service. And yeah, it's a high speeds to Paddington. So pressing the key twice. So one's cabin, 2 is front and back without movement. 3 is free cam front and back. So lets me move around the train. 4 does nothing, 5 does nothing, 6 nothing, 7 nothing, 8 does the free camera, 9 is map, and if I go back in, 0 gives me another menu of all the cameras, which I do quite like. So there go front boom camera, and just give me the front of the train. So yeah, another clear signal. Not sure if I'd like to say it's clear all the way, but got a feeling we may have to stop at least one point in the journey. Oh yes, and there's also like a whoops, nope. How do I go back? Okay, can't, fair enough. But yeah, basically the secondary driver as well, so there's 2 seats in each cab. And you can sit in the other one as well, so internal camera driver, going for a station. Off we go. So if we go to map, next signal is, someone knows it green signals the entire journey. No, that one's red. So we'll have to slow down at some point. Maybe get rid of that. Yes, next signal is yellow. Go back, current one is green. Although it's like I may need to slow down and potentially stop during this journey. And I'll show you what the train brakes is like on this, but the braking is why I'm not the biggest fan of this train compared to the Class 66. I mean, fair enough, 66, it's quite fast acceleration, quite fast on the brakes. This one, if you don't time it right, you're going into the buffers at the end of the track, or you're going for a red signal, so it's why personally it's more like, I think it's more of a confidence thing really, as opposed to anything else. I mean, fair enough, it's a fun train to drive, 125, about 114 now, because you do the speed of everything going past you, but it's just a case of potentially missing out on the signal, missing out on the buffers at the end of the station, which is what sometimes catches me out. But other than that, yeah, I do like all the trains in the simulator. The 66, the 166, and the 43 HST. Also at high speed, sometimes the graphical glitches do stick out a little bit more, but either way, not too bad, not too distracting from the actual train service. A little bit of detail on that as well. So we've got the actual raised GWR logo on that. At the top. Do have the engine moving around and all that. A lot of detail in the simulator. Although yeah, being in this cab, I can't exactly just walk to the back and go to the actual passenger area, so I think I'll do a passenger mode. Actually, I'd like to do the 66 first, and I'll do a video on the Class 66, and then I'll do a video in passenger mode, and we'll see how that goes as a mini-series just for the game's release. Try and show you guys as much of the simulator as possible, because at the end of the day, what we want is for you guys to like look at the simulator, think about it, like if you like what you see, then do buy it. I mean, Dovetail Games, fair enough, they've had their controversy, let's say, in the past, but they've not been too bad really, especially the Train Sim world. I mean, fair enough, people were still a bit 50-50 about the fact this was released as a DLC and not a standalone release, but overall, I mean, fair enough, it's not that bad, is it? Get 2 routes in it, it's not too expensive either, fair enough, like 30-40 quid, so okay, it's a bit on the higher end, but compare the detail of this to Train Simulator and just see what you're getting for your money. Detail of this, detail on Train Simulator, is 2 very different simulators, 2 very different platforms. But yeah, I'm quite happy to support these guys, so I did buy the pre-order Train Simulator, and tomorrow, or even today, because this is going to release in the morning, you guys should be able to gain access to this at 5 p.m. So do stick in your calendars, stick it on your alarm clocks. 5 p.m. is the release of Train Sim World Great Western Express. Right, now passing Maidenhead. Ooh, 131. Didn't realise we were going that fast. Right, idle throttle, actually on the brakes a little bit. So if I go to full brakes, here's an idea of how slow the brakes are in this thing. So this needs to be going to 125, not 133. Didn't realise going that fast. Yeah, it's not the greatest brakes in the world. It does eventually start slowing you down, but so after a lot of give. Anyways, 20 minutes till Paddington. Station is 22 miles away, so we should be alright in terms of time. But with the Class 166, yesterday I said enter stations about 20 miles per hour, you'll be fine. With this, about 5 or 10, at least with my experience in this. Because yeah, if I do succeed in this video, if I do succeed in getting to the end of the route, it'll actually be the first time I don't overrun or miss the buffers in this train. So it's first take one of recording. Let's see if I can do this alright. But yeah, some good detail across the train. Do really like what they give us. We might actually go into the cab as well at some point, but unfortunately not just yet. Although in terms of detail, basically with this train, you cannot open the door if the window is closed. It's like a lock. Whoops, actually I need to start slowing down because that means there's train potentially in the next section. 2.2 miles, so it's 40. Yeah, if we slow the train down. Yeah, basically, if the window's open, you can open the door. If the window is closed, you cannot open the door because it's locked. So that detail has been included in Train Sim World, GWE, and it's a nice little extra. I do quite liking this. It's just how slow these brakes are. If there's a red signal next, I could again overrun this, which I don't want to. Right, still yellow. 1.6 miles till 40. If I leave it at 60. Leave it at 60, that should be alright. Because yes, that does mean there is a service ahead of me, not too far away. In fact, let me just put this on throttle 1 to get a light bit of power through the train. Keep the speed up. Okay, red signal in 1 mile, so if I go to full brakes, and hope we stop before them. So I'm not sure if this is a service on my track going to Reading, or if this is a service going to Paddington and I'm now stuck behind it for the rest of the journey. Although yeah, I've now got more of a fuel to the brakes, I can kind of see what's going on. Right under 900 yards till red signal. There you go, there's a massive delay when you actually apply the brakes to them actually functioning, as the brake pressure, the air pressure, needs to take time to fill into the train. So yeah, charging takes a bit of time, and actually releasing takes time as well. So yeah, now a much slower train than we were doing earlier, at 133 being the fastest, 125 track limit. So yeah, like I said, went a little bit too fast, didn't realise that by accident, but either way, shouldn't affect us too badly. If I go to that side over there, there's a gap in the vegetation by the fence. There's our Great Western Express train. Let's go for throttle 2. 400 yard signal, so actually yeah, if I idle that, get ready to apply the full brakes. And then track speed limit does go down to 40 by this point, so yeah, how long these signals going to stay red for? If it's a commuter train that we're stuck behind, then it could be a while. Bear in mind he's stopping at every single station on the track. And once we pass red Maidenhead, that's fairly often. We're not past the M25 yet, so yeah, not past the M25 yet, still not in London. Right, there's a signal. Full service brakes, slowly bring it to a halt. Stop early as opposed to on signal. It's going to be close. Okay, it's now green. Oh yeah, cab lights, so L is light. I think he made them training on my track. If there was a point here, then that would explain it. As we take our return service from Reading back to Paddington. Yeah, 1.1 miles green. I think he may have been training on tracks, which was causing my slight delay. So back to running, and we should be free now for essentially the rest of the journey. Once we get back up to speed again, because like I said, this thing takes time getting up to speed. There you go, some signal numbers and radio numbers, if you're interested in that. All in the real HST train. And nicely represented within Train Sim World for us. But yeah, like I said, I do like this simulator. I do like the DLC, and just what it brings to the simulator as a genre as well. Like, it brings a lot. It's a highly realistic UK route. It's a route I've personally been on as well, so I know what I'm looking at. Or this is essentially what I've seen in real life as well. And yeah, just like the amount of detail in this is absolutely fantastic. So again, thank you very much, Dovetail Games. You've definitely done well for us in this one. But yeah, now just focus on the actual journey. Don't do what I did yesterday, which was overshoot a station in the 166, which isn't the hardest thing, which is a fairly hard thing to do. Bear in mind the brakes on that are quite decent, but I was distracted by. I think I was looking at the map book at that point, taking a look at what the next station was and stuff like that. Lost concentration. Fair enough, missed the station. Anyway, green signal, 300 yards. Another service at the station. Going through. No, it's not Slough. It's the one after Slough. No, sorry, this is Slough. Next station's Langley. Right, so you are now only 18 miles away from Paddington. Yeah, service doesn't look like it's doing too bad. Hopefully we're still set to be on time. That's the number one thing I'm looking at. What time we expect to arrive at Paddington? 11:20 ETA. It's another 14 minutes to go. So to show, this is not the longest route in the world. Doing this as the HST, but at the end of the day, it's still a decent route. And likewise, still got the class 166, which is a slower, longer journey time, and the class 166, the longest slow journey time, and then the 66, the freight train. I'm not too sure what that route is yet, so I've not looked too much detail at it just yet. But we'll do soon. So like I said, today I plan to release 3 videos. This one, the class 66 freighter, and later on I'll do a passenger run. So I'll go as a passenger from Paddington. I'll head up down the line a bit, or even not start at Paddington. I'll start some random station, see when the train comes, and we'll just be a passenger for a bit. Maybe even start at Maidenhead West. You know what? That's a good idea. Start at Maidenhead where I started off that live stream I did last week. And not last, was it last week or the week before? I think it was the first I streamed it, so yeah, 2 weeks ago. And then we will head down the lines I did before. So I went to Paddington in the end. I took the express train by accident, ended up where I shouldn't have been in Paddington. But hey, it happens. So yeah, maybe I'll do that route. Maybe see if I can get a change onto a high-speed train on the journey as well. As it stands, like I said, good release so far. This is Hayes and Hines right now, actually, I believe. Is it? Potentially. Not sure. If it is, then it means we are past the M25 and back in London. That's why Hayes and Hines is an important one, but I think this may just be Langley. This is... yeah, it's just Langley, fair enough, not that important. So M25 is soon. And yeah, the motorway then goes on top of us. And I'm just going to put the signals up ahead just in case. So, station, green. Yeah, no, green. Yeah, so it should be green for me the rest of the journey. So, oh no, there's a yellow one there, so there isn't possibly another train coming up later. That's not for a little while to come. Although, I'm tempted not to go full speed for this rest of the journey, maybe just slow down a little bit. This is Ivor, I believe. Whoops. Oh yeah, camera doesn't like going past the side building. Oh, just end up inside the cab. It's the rear driver cab. Oh yeah, 6 CDM fire system to the left. You've got a few things to the right. It's quite a bare cab actually, this one, the rear one. That's the rear of the driver cab. Right, so maybe 110 should we level it off at? It's 14 miles till Paddington. Still green. Yeah, this camera's not too strict on phasing through stuff, so if I was doing it like that, I believe I'd phase through them all. Or not. Oh, well, next station coming up. Not sure which station this is, between Ivor and Hayes. This is West Drayton, okay. Right, so then there is a yellow signal up ahead in the line. I've got my fingers ready on the throttle and the brakes, because unlike the 166, this is two separate systems. And I'm ready to apply the brakes when I need to. We are soon coming up underneath. I think that may have been the M25 there, actually. Yeah, because that's the crossover for the Heathrow Express. So from Quick, this is the M25 motorway. Yes, it is. And then we'll soon be in Hayes and Harlington. And after that, it's... Talking about it yesterday, actually, last episode. The one where they have, like, the Southall. So, yes, Hayes and Harlington, Southall. And then Paddington. There's one more, actually, between those two. There's one more. Right, so going through Hayes now. High-speed train. The factory should be to our right. There it is. The Nestle factory. You know it's Nestle factory because it has the dove on the side. Yeah, it has the Nestle dove on the side of a massive chimney. Although then the sim is not chosen to implement that. Right, so it's idle throttle 1, 2, 3. Before we get to 1, 2, 5. I've got a feeling that the signal we had already, the yellow signal, may have cleared up. So there's a massive water tower there. I believe that's one that says, there's two of them. There's one that says NO, and then there's one for HE. NO, the thing goes, so basically no, because two airports, Norfolk and Heathrow. Norfolk's then in like the 50s, 60s, turned from a commercial airfield to an RAF base. So essentially, what their joke is now, so NO stands for Norfolk, but now saying no, wrong airports. That's the joke, because a Pan Am 707 once accidentally landed at Norfolk back in the 60s. Pilot tried to land Heathrow, went to the wrong airport, so that's the running joke since then. So there's two, NO and HE, HE standing for Heathrow. I believe that may be the Heathrow one, because the Norfolk one I believe is up in Harrow, possibly? Or was it Watford? I don't know though, I don't exactly know their exact locations. Anyways, back to the train system. Right, so brakes, yeah, speed down to 118, that's fine. No signals, no issues in that. Here's the rear of the train where just leaving everything behind. Whoops. I like that, the camera just drops us inside the station building. I like that. Yeah, no escape from this one. But this is... Actually, what station is this? It's not South. This isn't Southall. Is there a sign? Hanwell. That's it, Hanwell. Right, that's Southall we've just passed now. Be down to 100, so in 1.6 miles. So I'll get ready for that. Yeah, make sure throttle is idle. Yeah, green signals, we should be alright. Ealing Broadway. So you've got the District and Central Line trains on the other tracks, although I doubt they're going to model the S stock and 1992 stocks. Or the C stock, depending. No, sorry, the D stock for District Line. It's only C stock to Wimbledon because of the tennis and Stamford Bridge Chelsea games. So they had to get the larger train with wider doors and more capacity on board. Right, speeding it down to 100 miles per hour, so full service brakes, try and slow it down. Yeah, we are now speeding. Bring it down as quick as I can. And what's the speed restriction at the next one? Down to 50. Okay, yeah, we do need to slow this train down then. We are getting close to Paddington, 3.9 miles. So we do need to get ourselves ready to stop once you arrive. There are speed restrictions at Paddington because of the track points and all that, so go for that. And then once we're in Paddington, we should be alright. Assuming I can brake in time and not hit the buffer at the end of the station. Because again, like I said, the reason I'm 50-50 about the HST, as I say throughout the video, is because I'm not too great with my braking sometimes. Like I said, take one. If I can make this in the end of it, this will be the first time I've succeeded in this train. So yeah, fingers crossed, all goes to plan. Whoops, a few minor glitches there in this graphics. Another track below us, not sure which line that would be actually. Don't think it's London Underground. Not Overground either. This is Old Oak Common, the Great Western Railway depot. But there are actually a few missions that start here. Great Western take it to Paddington. And then there's one mission where he starts at Reading, has to take a broken down train with class 66 back to Royal Oak. So that'd be quite a fun mission to do actually. Doing the entire journey with a freight train, pulling the high speed train. Anyways, let's bring the throttle up to 2, maybe 3. There you go, so yeah, if we can bring it up to about 50, keep the speed up, because again, we're set to arrive in 4 minutes at Paddington. 4 minutes, 2.7 miles, which isn't too bad actually. Also, if you look at the amps, I do go up to full speed. Sometimes it looks like I'm over speeding or causing massive issue. Basically, that's still set to do the American trains, so there you go, it goes up to 1,500 and beyond. Because it's still an American setup, the GY, so it's like I'm going way over power, when in reality I can go to full power no problem. And it won't cause any issues with the train. Right, so bring that to 50 in 700 yards. Go for initial brakes, just should be a nice amount of braking, bring that to 50 in 400 yards. You see it's very slowly reducing speed, and 50 will stop it. Get ready for heavy braking as we get towards Paddington. Service. Green signals, don't expect anything different. Yeah, go for the horn just whilst we're here. And yeah, staying at 50 for now. Not sure which platform we'll get, although we will enter the main part of Paddington Station. That should be quite cool to look at. 1.7 miles, 20 past arrival, got another 2 minutes till then. Speed is essentially bang on 50, so we should only be a matter of seconds late. We did slow down quite early initially. So it's like at 50, when in reality we could have probably been at 60 to 90 for the majority of that. It's fine, we're alright. Bear in mind it's like another hour turnaround anyway, so train gets there late. Doesn't affect the schedule too much for a driver. It's not like a plane where you come in, 15 minutes to land, affects the rest of the day. It's you arrive, maybe like half an hour late, you still got half an hour till you even need to leave. With a train, most passengers are already there waiting for you on time, or they take the next one instead. Right, down to 40. Full service. There's the passover on the A40 to central London. built in this way to essentially move traffic out of central London on a raised road. Not the nicest looking thing in the world, but essentially it's why there's Leslie's in London. Is it Jay Foreman? Someone did a video on that about Unfinished London. Do look for the Unfinished London series, actually a really good one to watch. Yeah, it basically explains the London ringway schemes and how that was like the one part of the road by Shepherd's Bush which got accepted through planning permission, and why it essentially halted the rest of London ringways. Another train. Alright, so in this case I'm getting about 15 frames per second, not the highest in the world. If you look up, I get up to about 30, 25, 30. So not the greatest frames in the world, but it's just about livable. Right, so this next signal will be red. 25 mile per hour speed restrictions next. So carry on slowing train down. I take it because my platform is now occupied, so I need to wait for a train to leave before I can actually fit in. I believe we're changing points. Yeah, so changing tracks now. Changing to the correct platform. You've now got an underground service store. Actually, before I go then, one thing I noticed as well, so London Underground tracks do have the correct third rail system. I liked that minor detail. I thought they'd just go for the standard like double rails the rest of the line is, but no, they've actually got their own separate tracks. I do really like that extra touch from Dovetail. Nope, that's cab light on brakes. Alright, okay, it's not red signal, that's the end of the station. So you've got a few minor glitches from the trains. Again, trains have a minor glitch here and there. But it's livable, it's not the worst in the world. Right, so slow train down a bit. By that I mean full service, because I don't want to hit the end of the platform. Even this seems too fast for me. We've still got plenty of platform left. Paddington's not exactly the smallest station in the world. Alright, 1%. There we go, slowly in. Arrival a minute ago, so not that late either. Nice and steady. Nice and steady. So whilst we're here, feel free to enjoy the nice scenery you've got inside Paddington. The station absolutely looks fantastic. Just the roofing, all that. And move to the third camera, this one. Just all the detail. It looks great. I cannot give Dovetail Games any more credit. This is a really nice model. Much nicer than anything they've produced before. And don't forget, this is one of Dovetail Games' first like proper original games. I was supposed to game like the Microsoft Flight Simulator engine for Flight Simulator, Flight Sim World, or the Railworks for Train Simulator. One of their first proper home-built simulators, and it genuinely looks fantastic. There we go, objective complete. I believe doors open automatic. Nope, unlock doors. Right, unfortunately, I don't actually know how that works in this train. Unlock doors, wipers, GWOS, nope. Which one's the door unlocks in this train? That's the only thing I don't know. Okay, looking around, I now know that pressing tab brings up this option here, which is the door section. So request pass signal at danger, which is one option, or you can unlock the left and right doors. If I unlock on right, passengers should now be able to deboard. I did turn off the engine as well. But yeah, passengers will now deboard the train, and the mission will now come to an end. So yeah, press tab whilst you're in the driver's cab. It will open up the door menu and request signal at danger option. Right, although, okay, press escape and it gets you out of that. So let passengers deboard, and then we'll end the video here. Because I'm still not too sure quite where the door options are within this train. I'm not even sure if this even has it. Bear in mind, this train's meant to have like manual doors at the back, so there you go, functioning announcements. But yeah, let passengers deboard, end the video, and then come back later. I'll have a class 66 freight train video for you. And the passenger one later, so there we go. Passengers deboarded, lock the doors, there we go. And mission over, get the awards, and here are our final scores in the end. So 300 points, not quite a level up or a 3 of the yet, so I haven't got full experience in this train yet. Arrival at Paddington 11:22, which is good. Bear in mind I arrived. ETA was 11:20. That's the due time. But other than that, if I wanted to, I can now set up the return journey to Reading. There you go. Schedule starts at 12 o'clock. So I think I'll end the episode here. Before that, let's actually properly walk around Paddington and see what we got here. So main station building. Sprint's not exactly much of a sprint, so we'll just slowly trot along. There are the buffers. I'm not sure if we've got one here, but essentially, yeah, there's one right here, isn't there? So I get into the tracks. Okay, I can't quite do it here. But basically, we have these steps, which allow us to get back onto the platform once we're on the track. Although for some reason, I can't seem to get into track right now. Is there a step here opposite I could possibly use? Nope. There's a step there, but I can't actually use it to get down. So yes, look around the platform, look around the station, see if the actual front is open or not, see if we can actually see into Paddington area. It doesn't look like we can though, because normally these are all open air. So yeah, they've hidden that off from us, and we can't. Oh yeah, we can exit the station through this barrier. No, we can't. So yeah, we are limited to the actual station itself. But we'll say detail is still quite nice in this. Your platform numbers, you've got your signage here as well. Talking about the rail replacements and the new electric cableage being put in place. But other than that, I think now's good time to end the episode. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Do leave a like if you did. Do subscribe too. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.